apparently using my child support on myself is wrong. So what am I supposed to use my child support on? As long as my 7 kids are taken care of, it doesn't matter what I use my child support for. I don't know why people care that I go do my nails, that I go do my hair, that I go to the spa, that I go on vacations with my child support money. Who cares if I splurge on myself? Me going to the spa, going on vacation, it helps me with my mental health. It helps me be stress-free.
Let's come here. Shut your stupid ass up. Say that fuck.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl Mika, and we're back for another Red Cup Talks because this is where truth, pop culture, and politics meet. So I wanted to come on today and talk about child support, okay? Everybody knows that the child support system needs an overhaul. It should have been overhauled a long time ago because it has fraud, waste, abuse, and it's just downright disturbing. It favors the mother no matter what. She can do whatever she wants with the money. No accountability. Some of them never even have a job. And some of them are even doing paternity fraud in the midst of all of it. However, the government just keeps going right along with it. When I tell you whole culture and the government are hand in hand right now, they're hand in hand. And because of this, Elon and the Doge team have decided to actually put their focus on child support. And when I tell you it got the baby mamas shook, it got the baby mamas online shook. And even some political pundits online and TikTok and everywhere else are saying that they don't know why Elon needs this information. Why does he want it? Well, Elon is going after it. He's already got access to it because RFK gave him access. I want you guys to see the hysteria right now about Elon going in, doing an overhaul of the child support system, making sure there's no fraud, waste, and abuse, which we know it is. Watch.
Really bad news. Health and Human Services has granted Doge access to that child support database, overriding the objections that we talked about the other day. According to the Washington Post, the HHS granted Doge access to the sensitive child support database with absolutely major amounts of sensitive income data, despite the objections of career employees. Now, this government database had been created to help enforce child support payments, and it was overseen by the Administration for Children and Families. And it contains substantial amounts of personal income data linked to nearly all United States workers. Now, on Friday, Democrats did demand that the Trump administration explain why Doge was seeking access to this database, because there should have been no reason for them to access something that is supposed to be confidential.
It is March 8th, 2025, and Elon Musk and Doge have gained access to a sensitive child support database. Career officials tried to stop it, but were unsuccessful. But the Department of Health and Human Services did say they only had read access to the Administration for Children and Families run federal parent locator system, which contains sensitive information such as income and federal benefits for nearly every U.S. worker. Musk himself is a father of at least 14 children with at least 4 women, and has been embroiled in his own child support and custody cases. It was reported that he forced his child support and custody case to be heard in Texas, for instance, with Grimes, because Texas has a state mandated maximum child support amount. So it is reported that Texas has a maximum allowable amount of $1,840 for one child, $2,300 for 2 children, $2,760 for 3 children, and so on. So clearly he's not paying very much to Grimes for the, I think, 3 children that they have together. But who knows what Doge wants with this system. I guess it does have a ton of information in it. But, you know, conflicts of interest all over the place for sure.
There is literally no reason why Doge would need that. It is not government overspending. It is not government waste. These are court-ordered child support agreements that come through via, your payroll taxes or whatever. Absolutely no reason for it. People should really be caring about that. That is an absolute invasion. And it goes back to a couple weeks ago. they want to go after child support and even having to pay it. It is pretty clear that that's a goal of theirs, and also to go after no-fault divorce. And people really need to pay attention to the little things, and it's so hard, but there's no reason for them to have child support information.
All right, so you guys saw that. Yes, the liberal left does not like that Elon is going in with a fine-tooth comb and actually going in to look at the child support laws, the child support administrative files. I mean, everything involving child support. Basically, Human Health Services, RFK, has given him access to do so, and they do not like it because once he goes in, he's going to be able to find fraud, waste, and abuse. We already know that there is a lot of paternity fraud. We already know that states are incentivized to actually put fathers on child support. There's a transference of wealth, and the states get money. Kickbacks. Yes, this is all a scheme with the federal government, and Elon and Doge are going to go in and take it all out. But I want you guys to see what Title IV actually is. And then I want you also to learn about how the Supreme Court has already ruled it unconstitutional. Watch.
In court case law called Blessing versus Freestone, where these 5 women from Arizona, their children were on, receiving public assistance. Okay. Child support went after the alleged fathers. They collected all this money. They adding all this interest, 10% compounded interest every year on every dollar. Every dollar there's a 10% compounded interest added on to the money. So now the interest supersedes the principal. The interest goes to the state. So in that, these 5 women said, well, we only getting this amount of money. Y'all done collected all of this. So they sued child support. Wow. That's our money. Child support said. They threw the flag on the play. Flag on the play. What do you mean that's your money? Objection. Right. In order for them to keep the money, they told on themselves. They said child support was never intended to benefit the custodial parent nor the child. It was intended to benefit the state.
All right, he's absolutely correct. The court case that he's talking about, the women, yes, sued the courts. They sued the state and child support and said, you guys are getting all this money and this is our money. These are from our, child's fathers. Why are you keeping this money? And the state had to tell them that, no, ma'am, this money is ours. In the paperwork, it literally says that child support is not for the children. Child support is for the state. And the states are incentivized. And this next video will talk about just that.
So family courts, unlike normal, like civil courts or criminal courts, there's almost no appellate options out of a family court. So the judges operate with no oversight and just do whatever they want. And third, and this is the big one, there are massive federal programs that were instituted in the late 1970s that pay states trillions of dollars to tear families apart. So it's so innocuous when I tell you, be like, this is a great program. But like in Texas, we get 66 cents on the dollar put into the Texas Treasury for every dollar of child support that's paid. Right? So the state is now highly incentivized to issue the maximum amount of child support. That's why almost all divorces got 50-50 prior to the 1980s. And there was the skyrocketing of divorces where one parent loses custody. And that was to maximize Title IV reimbursements to the states. In Texas, it's $500 million to the Texas budget.
If the state is profiting off of child support?
Correct. And in most states, the Judicial Retirement Fund is funded from this money. So the more child support that's issued from the family courts, the larger the judicial retirement. It's a massive program. It's the size of the largest defense programs. So the incentives are absolutely huge.
To get people to pay child support?
Correct.
And even married people, to get them to break up and then have to pay each other child support?
Absolutely, yeah.
So you heard that the Judicial Retirement Fund is funded from child support payments. That's why they push, yes, if your child's father is not there, yes, go and put him on child support. Yeah, because the state is going to make money off of it. The state gets to collect it. The state gets to collect interest on it. It's the same way the Fed does the federal government, okay? Because the Fed is actually unconstitutional, and so is child support. It works the exact same way. They loan out the money, they collect interest off of it, and child support does the same thing. They send the money to the mother. It's technically a loan, and then they go and collect from someone who's not even in business with them, which is the father, all right? This is all an illegal scheme for the states to make money. The federal government has illegally and unconstitutionally found a way to siphon money from a portion of its population. A shame. Now, with that being said, a new poll is out about Elon and Doge. I want you guys to see what this poll had to say, because we already know the liberal media does not like Elon. But I want you guys to check out what the new poll has to say about Elon doing all of these cuts and getting into all of this data and finding out and uncovering waste, fraud, and abuse. Watch.
First of all, the mood of the country. This really jumped out. We asked folks, is it on the right direction or the wrong direction? That 44%, you say right direction, that's up since November. And if that doesn't seem like a lot, the last time it cracked 40%, you got to go back to 2012. The last time it actually hit 44 or higher, January of 2004. So a lot of this is Republicans, but independents, that number is also up since the election on the direction of the country. Also, just Trump and his base, we monitor this. Among Republicans, look at this, basically 3 out of 4 Republicans say it's a very positive view they have of Trump, not just positive. Again, at this point in his first term, it was only 50. It's just the strengthening of that base, the tightness they feel in terms of their connection with him. And then there's the Trump agenda. There are some popular elements of it here. Handling of border security and the immigration issue. 55% approval. That goes beyond his base. You see right there. You hear about Doge there in the setup. And broadly speaking, the people do think this is a popular idea here. A good idea, 46%. Bad idea, 40%. Look at it this way. When you ask folks, what should Doge be doing going forward? A third say much more. 28% say Doge is needed, just needs to slow the pace down. But that's 61% total who seem to say that Doge is basically a good thing, a necessary thing right now. Where it gets complicated for Trump, the man who's leading Doge, negative 51%, a majority negative rating for Elon Musk right here.
So you see that, right? So that's because Elon gets a lot of negative press. When I tell you they are trying to make sure that this man gets all the negative press that he can get because they want him to be enemy number 1. Well, number 2, because they definitely still don't like Trump. They're Trump deranged. But he's next in line. So with that being said, everything that he does is going to be highlighted. It's going to be overblown. It's going to be like it's the worst thing ever because they do not want Elon to do what he's doing. And that's cleaning it up, especially child support. We've heard from people who actually explain why child support is going to be gutted out and should be gutted out, and how the states and federal governments actually use the money from child support. And we've even saw MSDNC go ahead and explain Doge's approval rating and how Elon Musk has a negative favor in the eyes of Americans because of how the media portrays him. But let's hear from everyday average Americans online about how they feel about Doge and the child support findings. Watch.
So Elon Musk and Doge, they are targeting child support. I'm wondering, why haven't I heard Hassan Piker or, a lot of these people on TikTok, the so-called leftists, the so-called liberals, so-called progressives, the so-called people on the left. Why have I not heard you discuss this? I can tell you exactly the reason why. It's because it would actually make you feel guilty, because you ignored men when we were complaining about these over excessive child support payments. How men like myself, who only receive VA and Social Security, they're basing my child support based on that, which is draining the things that I'm supposed to use to survive. And yet you'll sit there and just belittle me, gaslight me, and you won't even listen. And yet you're wondering why more and more black men, more and more men in general, are shifting to the right. Maybe, just listen to me. Consider this. It starts with empathy and being an asshole constantly to people when they're going through shit, or just making memes like, oh, divorce dad meme, or just pay your child support. Maybe that is finally coming back to bite you on the ass.
It is being reported that RFK Jr. has given Elon Musk and his Doge team access to child support records. For years and years, I have spoken on child support, how I feel like it's not the greatest program for some women or men. I feel like if you lay down and you have a baby with someone, you should be able to come to common grounds. But I do understand that there's some situations to where that can happen. One person is being a dick and they just don't want to cooperate. So I understand the meaning of child support, but I don't feel like that's everyone's situation. And one thing that I don't like about child support is how they make women who get government assistance put their baby daddy on child support in order for them to get the help they need, as far as food stamps, utility assistance, etc. They make these women put their child's father on child support, and then they take the rest of the money. So say, for instance, Your child's father has to pay you $1,000 a month, but they're only giving you $400 in food stamps and $200 in utility assistance. Well, where did the other $400 go, you might ask? It goes to other women whose baby daddies ain't paying shit. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah, all of these things are happening. So here are my thoughts. Let's pour it up. Child support isn't for the children. Child support isn't for the parents. Child support is for the state. The state makes the most money off of it. The state gets to invest off of it. The state gets to fund other employees off of it, okay? And at the end of the day, there's a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse because who really knows what they use this money for? These states and the federal government are making millions on top of millions with money they extort from families. Regardless of if these families are broken or not, they usually can make some type of agreement to actually work things out. But the family courts intervene on purpose. They intervene so families don't ever come together. They intervene so they can extort the mother and the father by keeping them at bay. All right. They are called referees. I lied to you not. They're not called judges. They're not called anything but referees. Look at your paperwork. They are there to make sure they referee the match between the mother and the father. And the sad part about it is most mothers, who are usually the custodial parents, don't even realize they're being taken advantage of by allowing their ignorance of the law to even get them. That's how you ended up with the blessing case, right? Because the women couldn't understand why they weren't getting all the money. Well, the state got you too, just like they got the father. When I say families are needed, I mean that. That's why this part of Doge is actually beneficial, all right? Just like they're cleaning up everything else, if they clean up the child support system, you would have a lot more families doing a lot more together, which equals a lot more money in the American homes. But the liberals aren't going to tell you that. Ratchet Crockett isn't going to tell you that. AOC isn't going to tell you that. And yes, none of the Democratic operatives of MSDNC and CNN will tell you this because they want to continue the status quo. And that's why they don't like Elon or Donald Trump. You guys get down in the comments, like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you think about the whole child support system. Let me know what you think about Elon going in and cleaning it up, all right? And them just going nuts that he's going to be able to do it and that he has access to child support data, all of it. You guys get down in the comment, like, comment, and subscribe. It's your girl, Mika, and I'm out. Peace. Wake up.